So often in a financial household, there's one spouse who maybe takes the lead on initiating financial conversations. They might be the person that, is paying the bills and they're doing the budget and they're a little bit more day to day involved. And there's another spouse who's maybe more on the high level. They get the update once a quarter. As soon as a financial conversation comes about, it says, "Is everything good?" "It's good." "Okay, great." And then they kind of move out of the conversation. So there's these varying degrees that people are intersecting with their financial life. But what I've found to be very powerful is when you get Nelson in front of a couple and they can sit around the television with some popcorn or a tasty snack, and whether it's a nice beverage, and they can just be with Nelson for an hour and learn about his story. It has a way of bridging the gap for people. So I would encourage anyone listening in, if you're interested in this process and your spouse is maybe not willing or not listening, or there seems to be some resistance there, do your best to get them in front of that documentary film and sit down with them. Make sure you have their favorite beverage. Make sure you have their favorite snack available so you can turn it into an experience. And I would also encourage you watching it with your kids. A lot of people have done that with their teenage and their adult children, and they've created a bonding experience around Nelson, and he's that glue that helps kind of keep a lot of things together. So I think that'd be something that would serve you guys really well if you get a chance to do that and communicate out to your people that you're looking to serve.
I'm already thinking of about 5 clients that we need to send that to them right now. So
yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. And feel free to reach out to me and let me know what your experience is once you start hearing some feedback. Because I think you'll find, maybe not across the board, but certainly you'll have some of those common elements begin to happen. Now, Kurt, you've attended a number of think tanks, of course, since then. Your first interaction with Nelson being there at a think tank. What keeps you coming back? What is it about the Nelson Nash Institute and these events that they put on that you find are helpful for you as you've been growing and developing in the business?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just seeing the different examples. Everybody's got a different personality. I mean, you mentioned you were just meeting with Mary Jo. She and I have a very different personality. Love Mary Jo, but she's going to reach people that I would never be able to connect with, and vice versa. And I think that's really the cool part, is that everybody's using their strengths in order to communicate with folks that are there. And so I love to go and just interact with the people and hear different ideas. And the presenters always do a phenomenal job. And again, just hearing the heart of people as they're sharing and seeing the impact that they're making in the way that they can, where they are. And you always come away with nuggets. That's a great idea. Or, oh, we've been doing that and that's not working for them. No wonder it's not working for us. And so I just see it as really a great opportunity to enhance what we do in our practice, continue to expand our thinking. We'll always have to be rethinking our thinking, as one of Nelson's golden rules. And I'm challenged on that all the time here. Yeah, you've been in business a long time, but sometimes I think I've got 1 year of experience repeated 23 times. So, that's just the reality. So always learning and growing. And I think the think tank experience gets me around people who are doing the similar things and gives me a chance to rub shoulders with them and keep expanding and growing. I've had a chance this year. We brought, I think, 8 additional people with us. So it's just continuing to expose them to the opportunities that are available as well. So.
And for I think all of those individuals, it was, again, first time for them, first interaction at a think tank event. I'm curious, what were some of the conversations that you've had with them, leaving the event, and since then? It's been about a week or so since we were together and down in Orlando. Walk me through, from your perspective, what have you seen some of the elements discussed, as people have left that event, that you brought with you to be a part of the experience?
Yeah, we have two of them that came. This was their second time, but everybody else was their first time, and so everybody came away with just different insights on, wow, this was fantastic. I needed to hear some of these things. Again, challenges to the way I think, and saw a lot of different examples of how people do things. And again, everybody comes away with something a little bit different, because we're all learning and growing at a different pace. And it's kind of fun to see everybody got what they were either looking for. I asked them all, be prepared. What are you looking for? And then let me know afterwards if you found it, if what you found. And everybody felt like what they were hoping to get, they got out of the event. yeah, it was, but everybody is planning on coming back next year. So we'll just leave it at that. So
Great. Well, I'm excited for that. We'll look forward to seeing them because it's truly an incredible experience to be a part of and to be in community with one another as we, like you say, we might all be out there kind of doing our own thing to a degree, but we're all doing it in support of a bigger cause, I think, which is building the 10%. Speaking of events, we have a new event that we've created at the Nelson Nash Institute. Of course, myself and a number of other people on the practitioner council supporting the board of directors. David, Carlos, and of course Lee, who David's daughter, Nelson's granddaughter, now involved in really helping move things forward. And so, shout out to Lee and David and Carlos. Appreciate all of you. The Coaching Academy, which is an experience around really bringing people back to the core of Nelson's book, putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of in-depth training on the book itself and the utilization of some things with some ideas around how to build your practice and get momentum in the business a little bit for the advisors. It's not a sales training conference. It's really about focusing on core elements of education and understanding. You had the ability to come through and attend Coaching Academy. I'd love to get your thoughts on that experience, being that you've been in the industry for a long time, shorter time with infinite banking, of course, but making that a core element and a focus of your energy now. What comes up for you? What would you say about the going through the Coaching Academy experience personally?
yeah, the Coaching Academy was something that I went to just because, again, I'm always wanting to learn in a deeper way, and really just I know that the people that are there, people such as yourself and Jason and Bruce and all of the others that are there, James and Mary Jo, and all of them just have a wealth of knowledge that I know I can continue to learn from. And just being exposed, we were basically walked through the book, but there was other things that were presented as well. And I think it's just a great value. Again, evaluating your own practice. What is it that you're needing to grow in? I think most of those were addressed, but then also just getting a deeper dive into the book itself, and just there's always things you walk away with and just say, that's a great. For me, it was really, I think, like the words. I get caught up in. I say things a certain way, but then somebody else says it a different way. Like, that is so much more clear. I am going to utilize that as I go forward, and just little nuggets that you get. Or that's why, I mean, I've read the book a number of times, and yet every time you read it, I used to say that I'm learning something new. I don't know if I learned something new, but I learned something deeper at this point. And you start to see why Nelson told this story and how it connects to this example in this story. Like, now that is becoming clear. And you think you got them all figured out, and the next time you read it, there's two more. There's all these aha moments. So the Coaching Academy just added to that, because now you're getting to hear from people that have a wealth of knowledge and have had 100 more ahas than I have, are sharing some of those ahas and giving you some quicker examples. And I found that very beneficial, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, no, great. Absolutely love it. You're, with the Institute, of course, now anyone new joining, there's an interview process. Some people are aware of that, not aware of that. So for those of you that we have a number of, advisors that listen to the show. So if you aren't involved with the Nelson Nash Institute, we'd certainly encourage it. Of course, you can reach out to them directly. Infinitebanking.org is how you get a hold of David and Lee, and then coordinating an interview process that they go through. But for anyone who joins now, they make that Coaching Academy is now a mandatory process to attend it in the first 12 months, which I'm really excited about. I think that's great for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's going to create a lot of clarity for people right out of the gate. And then number two, it's going to help them develop some core elements and strategies and language, as you identified, Kurt, that I think will help make them, it'll drastically increase their ability to achieve success in a much shorter period of time. And, I think to the experience of being in the Coaching Academy, of course, having, kind of wearing a different hat in that experience, being someone that's helping to teach it, I think about, what the effort that went into creation of this event. And it's really, what were all the things I wish I would have had in year one that I didn't have?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a lot of the format of what's been poured into it to help get people the ability to see how they can stay out of the weeds. We call it the weeds. That's when you can't see the forest for the trees. You're zoned in on numbers. We're focusing on elements that don't fundamentally matter. We're not
Right.
saying that numbers aren't important, but their degree of importance without understanding the core elements above them aren't really, it's like saying that the walls of a house don't matter. Well, you don't have a house if you don't have walls on it. But
Right.
if the house was just built on the ground and there was no foundation, then what matters most is that the foundation was poured and it was solid first. So that's
Yep.
the kind of the analogy between not, saying that it's not that numbers aren't important, it's that what's important is what's underpinning those, that foundational knowledge that you might stack some numbers on top of, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of my favorite phrases, because we run into a lot of math and people who like the math and the numbers. And I just bring up Nelson's quote of, if you don't understand the concept, that the numbers don't really matter. But if you do understand the concept, then the numbers still don't really matter. So, and that's hard to get across to someone who um, likes the numbers, because we think it's about the numbers, and it's really not. It's about the banking function, and the numbers don't impact the banking function. It's really about the control. And so it's just a different way of thinking. And so, and to your point earlier, I think that's really, I agree with you in that when you're just getting started in the business, there's so much that you just don't know, that you don't know. And that's the way it is with the book. It's the way it is the concept, but at the same time, that's what it is in starting this business. And so
Mm.
just getting exposure to people who have been through it before and can, don't reinvent the wheel, just learn from people who've already made all the mistakes, and, just start to copy the good stuff and just save yourself a bunch of headaches, so that you don't, why start from scratch when you don't have to? So I wish that would happen for me, but it didn't. I got to do a lot of things the hard way. So